my mentor when I was a strength coach at St. Louis University, and he's my best friend.
Mike is my awesomeness mentor. And only real men can hug each other in public, so don't worry about that.
Don't worry, we still hit each other. We still hit each other, it's okay.
So my name is Scott Charland. I'm currently the manager of Fibers and these big, powerful Mack truck, strong, large motor neurons, fast motor units, high force, low reps. Look at this big chart. These are big muscles. You want to work the big muscles, you got to work low reps. Look at how big that is. That's how it looks like in your textbook. Let me tell you what most athletes that you're dealing with look like. Skinny little weak kids. 130-pound freshmen in high school. You know, girls that weigh 98 pounds and are on the soccer team. This is what you have. Yes, these are the larger muscle fibers, but that's like saying, you know, whatever, a chihuahua is large compared to a squirrel. They're still both small. All right, so there's just, it doesn't matter that these are bigger than those. They're still small and weak. Then, yeah, again, proportionally they may be bigger, but small is small. That's what this is. This is every, freshman that you train. They're working with a lawnmower. If you're doing power training, 1 to 5 reps for this kid, you're essentially trying to get, performance out of a lawnmower. No lawnmower is going to be high performance. There's just not enough horsepower there. You can put the best fuel in it, and you can let the lawnmower sleep, but it doesn't matter. There's no power. There's nothing going for it. Because this right here is so small. The muscles are so small. There's nothing. Little beefier athlete. Okay. Got your Camry. This thing here is starting to, these muscles are starting to get a little bigger. Okay. We can do some work here. Mike and I at St. Louis, we had a ton of these. We had lawnmowers, no doubt. We trained the cross-country team and, girls soccer and field hockey and even men's soccer. We trained, we had more 140-pound men's soccer players than you could shake a stick at. That's a lawnmower. So we trained and we made that lawnmower. Yeah, there's a little bit more muscle here. We can start getting some performance out of the Camry. All right? We can start doing that. Now, we can start working a little bit into those type 2 fibers. Doing a little bit more power training. Starting to make a little bit more sense. But we're still not there yet. Like again, there's no doubt if you looked at the athlete on that first slide and the athlete on this slide, you'd say, well, yeah, that athlete there should be better. We can start doing some more things out of there. Okay? But really what we're trying to get to is more like this. All right? Now this athlete's got some muscle on him. Now, yes, those fibers are big enough that we can put some power in. The horsepower is there, yes. Now we can start doing those 1 to 5s. We got the size, we got the motor, we got the horsepower. Now we can start doing all those exercises that every cleans and snatches and jerks and all those things that develop the horsepower. But we can't worry about that too soon. You got an athlete that looks like that? Yeah, we got enough muscle mass to do what we want to do. Now again, is that a football lineman? No. Some athletes, some sports, they even need to be more. Again, this might need to be a Mack truck for a thrower or a lineman or a rugby player. But for most, non-football athletes, hypertrophy-wise, that's about enough right there. So yes, we finally, over time, we got this chart to look like it appears in the freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, to get to where now, yes, we can actually work on developing that horsepower. Work work on developing that horsepower. So this is a video. Hopefully it'll play. Doesn't look like it wants to. No worries. It's off YouTube, but it's basically, there's all kinds of videos on YouTube, and this kid's no different example. But it's skinny little kids doing cleans. All right, 150-pound boys doing cleans. And it's just like, you know what, man, you're just trying to get horsepower out of the lawnmower. There's just no reason for it. This, this athlete here that's doing cleans, and I wish would come up a little bit better, but that athlete just be better doing sets of 10 on trap bar deadlift and building some muscle. What's limiting him from power is not that he can't do cleans, it's that he's got no muscle. There's just nothing there to work. All right? So, and I was a victim of this myself in the college level, and we'd have cross-country kids, or field hockey girls, or lacrosse girls, or fencers. And, out of my own ego, I'm like, I can make anybody do cleans. I'm a great coach. So they do cleans. 55 pounds for 5. 60 pounds for 5. Well, yeah, that struck my ego, and I could put it on Facebook at the time and be like, yeah, I'm awesome. But what they should have been doing is just trap bar deadlift. Build that horsepower. Build the horsepower. Build the horsepower. Again, instead of trying to shove performance into a lawnmower. All right, where did we go wrong? Sorry, I missed a slide. Where did we go wrong? Part 2. We all see this just, linear periodization model. It should be spent on all of these phases. 1 goes to the next, goes to the next, and it's 4 weeks, and it's 4 weeks, and it's 4 weeks, and it's 4 weeks. Okay? 4 weeks ain't enough to do that. For, again, the lawnmower kid. Maybe in a perfect world, with an athlete that's already developed. But what if we, instead of looking at this as just equal time frames, which ain't gonna work, I'll just be honest with you. What if we looked at it like that? Where, hey, all those first 2 months over here, that hypertrophy, I'm not nuts about that endurance phase, but it's the best graphic I could find. GPP, hypertrophy. What if that looked at that as the base of athleticism, not just one equal component? What if we actually saw that as the base? And you can see now, I know that, a peak can only be as high as the base is wide. And I'd say, GPP, hypertrophy, if I can make a robust base of that, I can put a much higher peak of power on it. What if we thought about it like that? Again, lawnmower kid, his base, this is like all down here, so his peak's only that high. But if we spread out GPP, hypertrophy, think about all that time, and again, more time, this is bigger, more time has got to be spent down here. More time, a little bit less time, yeah. Peaking is great. But again, if you spend 4 weeks peaking a lawnmower, who cares? It's still a lawnmower. You're just going to waste your time at the peak because it's so small. So I would encourage you to think about development, athletic development, long-term athlete development, not as this kind of equal time frame linear thing. Think of it as a pyramid, getting the base as big as you can so that you can start stacking big things up on top of that. And this might be years. And for high school athletes and for college freshmen, quite frankly, who cares? You ain't got nothing but time. Go for it. Take your time. Build the base. Don't rush it. Because again, the peak is only going to get as tall as the base is wide. Here's another video. But basically, this guy's got 155 on here. He's a lawnmower. he's going to do a 1-rep squat at 155, and he's clearly in high school, but I would bet he's a freshman or a sophomore as opposed to a junior or a senior. And again, and he hits the squat perfectly fine. Like, he does a perfectly acceptable, in any weight room in the country, 155-pound squat for a single. Not back to that. But again, hopefully you can see. Again, what's limiting his strength? So back squat's an exercise for strength. What's limiting is his strength is not his fiber type and this. He's got no muscle. And 1 repetition max, as we all know, that's not the best way to build muscle. It's not the best way to build his horsepower. Again, once you got the horsepower, it's a great way to develop it. But it's not, or express it, but it's not the way to build it. So again, some of you need to close your eyes for this, or close your ears, because I'm going to knock on Westside. But where did we go wrong? So, Westside's influence on youth programs. Nothing over 1 to 3. Max effort day. Dynamic effort day. You know what everybody forgets about in conjugate? It's the repetition effort day, the repetitive effort day. Max effort, dynamic effort, max effort, dynamic effort, I mean, you're forgetting a whole one. Forget a third of what Westside built up. And their guys, obviously, they didn't go there to develop. They came there developed. So they didn't do a lot of repetitive effort day because they were big giant guys to get it. There's 3 parts to conjugate training. Don't forget repetitive effort, especially with younger kids. I always get a kick when I see high school programs and they're doing bench on bands and chains and the kid's got like 95 pounds on the bar, but he's got chains on there. Bro, you can't bench his body weight. I think we don't need to go dynamic effort right now. You know, he's 15. He says the lawnmower. Any low rep program has volume somewhere in disguise. Again, the Westside stuff with the repetition effort day. There's a really good strength and conditioning program, private sector down in Georgia called Explosive Mechanics. I kind of dug into that a little bit because they're low rep, low rep, low rep. And then you listen to them more talk. Well, we squat low rep, we squat 3 days a week. Oh, well, there's some volume there. Westside, same thing. They might do low rep, but they do it twice a week. Mike, what's your, Mike does a low rep deadlift program. What's your warm up to like a set of 3? From the beginning.
From the beginning, empty bar, 135, well, plate, until get up to mid-5s and then start.
Right, but 135 for 10, 185 for 10, this is what I was doing, 225 for 10, 275 for 5, 315 for 5, 365 for 5, 405 for 5, 455 for 3. Now I'm ready to start working out. But you do a low rep program. Yeah, my warm-up was your entire workout. Those big Westside guys, you don't take into account all the volume. They do just warming up. That's their hypertrophy. That's their bodybuilding. That's their. But your warm up to get to 225 is why I did 135 for 5 and I'm ready to go. Okay, well that's just different. You got to do more because your warm up is nothing. Doesn't take much to warm up the lawnmower. All right, we're ready to go. As opposed to the IndyCar that says a couple laps and doing that kind of thing. So. The Matt Wenning, same thing. Westside Disciple. Low reps. Then you listen to him talk. Well, we do these Wenning warm-ups where we do 4, we essentially do 100 reps of 4 assistant exercises before every workout. But you gotta dig in and look around to find that out. That's not right out there right away. So we see these low rep programs, Westside inspired programs. But again, if you dig in a little bit, you're gonna find any low rep program has volume somewhere in disguise. They don't talk about it, they don't shout it from the rooftops, but it's there. I guarantee you it's there, you just gotta look for it. Minimum effective dose. I don't know when this became a thing. Let me just say this. When we talk about the training we're talking about, this is off-season athletes. This is off-season developmental athletes. But this minimum effective dose, I love this. Would you want to be in surgery and your anesthesiologist says to you, all right, we're going to give you the minimum effective dose for this surgery. It might feel a little bit. It might work. It might not be enough. We may have to give you a little bit more. But that's the last thing I want to hear. I'm like, give me the maximal rational dose. Not the minimum effective. Same thing with your salary. If your boss came to you and said, I'm going to pay you the minimum effective dose that you can get by on. I don't want none of that. Give me more. Give me more. So same thing with training. Putting out a fire. It's not like the fire department shows up and says, well, it's the minimum amount of water we can use in this fire. It's like, no, they're going to flood you. Same thing with training. In the off season, man, go get it. And I say this again, as 20 years in strength and conditioning at the collegiate level, with skinny little athletes on the Olympic side predominantly. And again, when I go around, I have 11 full-time high school strength coaches. And I go around and they ask me, oh, hey, what would you do different? What do you? I said, kids just don't have any muscle. They're just too skinny. They're just not going to perform. They're not going to have any power out because they're just too small. They just are. They're just 14. Or again, in our case, they were just 18-year-old, 110-pound soccer players. We got to get some muscle in there. So, putting out a fire, all those kind of things. Hidden benefits of hypertrophy training, or higher volume training, you might want to call it. Quite frankly, it's safer. I love this, we got to do 1s and 3s, and singles and triples with our, freshman high school kids. We're going to take a inherently risky activity, lifting weights, and then right away, see what the most you can do is. It's like when I was teaching my son how to drive a car, inherently risky activity, I didn't say, here's the keys, son, go on the interstate, see how fast you can go, and let's see what we can do. It's like, no, you go 20 miles an hour around the neighborhood, or you're in a parking lot, and you're just doing a lot of volume, getting used to it, getting the technique right. You don't just go, hey, let's do a max effort double. No one would recommend you training a child how to drive that way. Again, do any risky activity that way. So why do we do it with lifting weights? Let's do 1s and 3s. Maybe a set of 5. Safer. Higher volume training is safer. They get better technique. Whatever university I was at, my calling card, my pride and joy is we had great squatters. Great. Low, depth. We could, anybody in the country, I literally didn't care. You come in, we might not squat more, but we're going to have great technique on the squat, RDLs, those kind of things, because dang, we did reps of it. Wow, my kids don't have great technique in the squat. Well, how many sets? We did 3 sets of 5. My kid's no good at shooting free throws. How many free throws did he shoot? We did 3 sets of 5. So you did 15, and you're expecting this person to be some great free throw shooter? Just wasn't enough reps, wasn't enough practice, wasn't enough volume. If you want to get good at something, you got to do it over and over and over and over and over again. And when you see the program, you'll see, boy, that's a lot of squatting. That's a lot of reps. Yeah, we were damn good at it. Because we practiced it. Sub-maximal weight. Over, over, over again, and then our technique was great. Nobody ever got hurt. The depth was always there, even when we got heavy, because they were used to it. Ripple effect. This kid just did, if he's 155 and he did a rep. But his 1 rep, that got into those big muscle fibers. Okay. He did 155 pounds of total volume. So ripple effect. Imagine, if you will, you got a lake. And there's no wind. That lake is flat, calm as glass. Think of that lake as your body. It's your body system. It's your muscular system and your endocrine system, your skeletal system, and your cardiovascular. No stress at all. There's a bridge over this lake. And my man here is going to drop 155 pounds off this bridge. And yes, there's some disruption under the bridge, little ripples. But after too long, those ripples have died out, and most of the lake is still flat, calm glass. That's your system. Really didn't stress that much of your body. Didn't do, it got a little into the muscular system. Like, I'm not going to tell you it didn't do a little bit. Not going to tell you that it didn't do a little bit for the central nervous. It did. But instead of this, what if this was 105 pounds? Let's just take 40% off of there. And we did 15. 105, okay, well, he did 155 pounds. We do 105 for 15. We're putting almost, 1,600 pounds of stress on the body. Now let's take that same bridge. Let's drop 1,600 pounds off it. Splash, boom, boom, the ripples. They go all the way to every shore. They go back up the creek, into the bays, everywhere you can possibly be. Endocrine, skeletal, muscular, cardiovascular. Every system is stressed by that higher volume training. Because we can't debate. 1,600 is more than 155. Like, it just is. What's going to build this? What's going to build the lawnmower? We're going to do it with singles. Okay, we're all cool. Singles are fine. Just did 155 pounds. I did 1,600 pounds with the kid over here. It was safer. We got lower. We did better repetitions. We got more practice. Building the base of this pyramid. We can't shy away from hypertrophy and high volume training. Ripple effect. I wish I know who I doubt I made it up, but we cannot forget ripple effect and the effect of high volume training on all the systems of the body. There's nothing like it in the world, high volume training. Again, you're going to do it in season? No. But high volume back squats, man, I built a career on it. With athletes that were successful across multiple universities, multiples of private, public, small, big, doesn't matter. If you take one thing from me, high volume back squatting, it's a secret weapon. Why don't we hear more about it? Hey, ask any strength guy like me, would you rather do a set of 3 or a set of 15? Set of 3, every day. We shy away from those high volumes. I don't want to do it. It's hard for me to ask somebody to do what I don't want to do. So yeah, we program where we're comfortable. We are comfortable, strength coaches are comfortable, in those lower rep sets. I'll do doubles all day long. Hey man, you got a set of 17s on squat. Oh bro, what are you talking about, man? That's endurance training. That's for cross country. Nah, man. Again, that's the difference between 1,600 pounds and 155 pounds. At some point, you have to build strength, develop strength, not just express it. When you're doing singles and doubles and even triples, you're just expressing what you can do. At some point, you gotta build that base. You have to build it, not just express it all the time. I'll lift that heavy weight. Good, you express that, but it didn't really build anything. When you go to your powerlifting contest, you're not like building strength that day, you're expressing what you've built through the training phase. You can't just express it, and think it's going to get any better. It's why, you can't just do singles year round and get a whole lot stronger. You got to build strength. And hypertrophy training is how you build strength. Singles, doubles, that's how you express strength. And again, that's great. I'm not here to bang on it. But so many people put that cart before the horse. So hopefully you can see this. My email, I got business cards, whatever. Don't like be scrambling writing this stuff down. It's all out there. Can get you the slides if you email me. But so what I'm going to do is show you kind of the 3-day-a-week program that I used, fine-tuned definitely, but essentially throughout my most of my career, the last from 2006 to 2018, fine-tuning this program. Now again, caveat, this is for, I'll send you this. Don't worry about taking a picture. I'm more than happy to share this with you, so just listen. This is out of season, right? Off season. For our freshman athletes. I was talking in somebody today about, hey, your philosophy, this and that, and it's kind of, hey, we had a level 1 workout for freshmen, we had a level 2 workout for sophomores, a level 3 and a level 4 workout. This is our freshman, should be our level 1 workout, and I'll be honest with you, this was it for most of the sports. There might have been a tweak here or there, but not much. Field hockey, lacrosse, basketball, volleyball, soccer, cross country, track. Hey, when we got those, again, skinny little high school kids, we had to put some muscle on them if they were going to perform. We can't take a lawnmower out onto the field or court and think that anything's good's going to happen there. And I was always at, kind of with the exception of Ohio State, mid-major schools, we weren't going to go up against bigger schools that had, Camaros out there with our lawnmowers. We had to get some muscle on it. So, we did a 3-day-a-week program in the off-season. We lifted. Like this is not minimum effective dose. I mean, I'm going to say some of the stuff we did, and it's going to be like, oh, Dan, really? You did all that? I was like, yeah. We did this for decades and had an incredible amount of success across a wide variety of sports in a wide range of different university settings. So day 1, Renegade Road. And by saying this, I would always do total body days. I think, the body works. You don't go out to soccer practice and say, well, what are you going to do today? Upper body and lower body at practice. Like, no, I got to do everything. All right, it's the same thing when we train. Total body. So, here we go. We did Renegade Row, we did pistol squats, then we started teaching them how to do jerks. Now again, I'm being honest with you. Would I do jerks anymore? Knowing what I know now and seeing these skinny little high school kids I deal with? No. This would have been, if I, lost my job tomorrow and was a head strength coach at Eastern Kentucky come Monday, this would be a shoulder press. A more high volume shoulder press instead of a jerk. But again, why did I do jerks? Because I have a massive ego. And damn it, I can teach anybody how to do a jerk. USA Weightlifting Certified. That's what you gotta do. I'm admitting my mistake. But I want to show you the real thing. We did, jerks a great exercise. We'd have done it further down the road, but not right for our beginner kids. We've had a dumbbell 1-arm military press, barbell press, Zotz press, something like that, some kind of just other press. But then we go front squat. 4 sets of 10. 4 sets of 10. 8s, 6s, 6s. We've gone 8 weeks and we still haven't seen a 5 on like our main exercise. And again, our presses, if this was a military press or dumbbell military press, would have just been exactly the same. But we're 8 weeks in and we haven't seen anything less than a set of 6. We're building. In between those front squats, we're doing sets of 10 band row. 40 band rows, 40 band rows, 40 band rows, 40, volume. Student athletes, there's just nothing back here. There's no upper back strength. But then we gotta do cleans day 1. Now you can't even hold the bar in a good position. You got no muscle back there. All right, well let's build some muscle just with some band rows. Isn't have to be rocket science. Throw them in between a set of front squat. Workout density. When we train, man, I want to pack that workout full. Not like set of 10 front squat, 3 minutes rest. Set of 10 front squat, 3 minutes. No, man, put something in there. Work capacity, GPP. Clean pull was our deadlift. A little bit different here. I'm a big percentages guy. I'll have that debate with anybody why I think you should use percentages as opposed to like how I'm feeling or something like that. Like, no, just weight today. So we would base this off of squat. So 110% of your squat max was your deadlift max. And so we do 70% of that for 40 reps. How that 40 reps works, I'm not insane. Crazy, but I'm not insane. They had to get 40 total reps. No more than a set of 10 per any one set. So if they really could crush this, they could do 4 sets of 10 to accumulate and have 40 total reps. But we were on them, when they're done, they had to come and they had to get their coach's signature. And I'd say, hey, how'd you break up those 40 reps on clean pull? 10, 8, 8. If they can get 10, then I'd bump their max up a little bit, 5 pounds. All right, then they could do 10. Until, I wanted that more like 5 sets of 8 as opposed to 4 sets of 10. And we would get there, and you could see how that first week was 40, 37 down, to where now here we're getting 23 reps. 5 by 5, 6, 4 sets of 6, 6 sets of 4, something like that. 85%, it's getting a little bit heavier. But don't think that's in one set. But again, if they're ripping through that in 10s, again, if these 30 reps are 3 sets of 10, hey, we got to bump their max up. And we'd communicate with the student athletes. They'd give us a sheet, we'd talk to them, hey, what do you do? And then we'd just change it. So we did a press, we did a front squat with some band rows, we did some clean pulls. Hey, now we're going to do push-ups. Now this is a female program. If this was a male program, all these numbers would just be doubled. So push-ups, give me 15 great push-ups. Chest touches the floor. Push till my arms are straight. Control it coming down. Chest touches the floor, push back up. Great push-ups. I want to show you. Bottom starts on the ground, look at the floor. Push till your arms are straight, back to the ground. Push till your arms are straight, back to the ground. All right, it's not this or doing something else. It's a legitimate, wonderful, beautiful push-up. So again, boys would be doing 30, up to 44, unload week, up to 50. Body weight, low row, I don't know what another name some people call, but you go under the rack and you pull yourself up. Inverted pull-up, maybe people call it. But again, back. Again, for boys, they're getting up to 70, 54, volume. Body weight stuff with volume. Push-ups, body weight, low rows. Farmer's walk. We would generally do 2 sets. It's blanked out because depending on the distance we have to walk, but hey, we're going to go do farmers. Down and back is one, down and back is another. We had a great hallway at St. Louis to do it. We have turf area at Butler and Temple to do it. Farmers walk. Great development exercise. Building strength. Abs, that kind of stuff. So again, here, we did pressing. Look at all the, band row, clean pull is back. Body weight, low row is back. Push-up row is back. Back. Got to put some muscle on there. This is day 1. Clean pull again, that's deadlift. Could you do trap bar deadlift? Sure. In being easier. But I think trap bar deadlift and front squat are just too similar. Trap bar deadlift's a great exercise. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not close to conventional deadlift for developing athleticism. It's just not. It's easy to teach, you can do it, like I understand why people do it, I do it with some of our younger kids. My son's done it, like I'm not gonna lie to you. But if you can coach conventional deadlift, to me that's the #1 exercise. Hamstrings, posterior chain, all the muscles that are important in running and sprinting, conventional deadlift. Clean pull, again, our clean pull is just on top, pick it up on your toes and shrug their shoulders. But it's essentially the same as deadlift. So total body, ton of back stuff, posterior chain. I mean, we're doing all kinds of front squatting and deadlifts and blah, blah, blah. Like the student athletes come out of this workout, they're like, woo! They're sore the next day. Fantastic. You're gonna get more sore. So here, we start just with four-way stability or just with your planks, you know, just a stability exercise, get us warmed up, get us going a little bit. Body weight, so your Russian hamstrings, whatever you want to call them. This, I would admit, the volume is probably a little higher than I would normally go now, but just say slow coming down, little push up or whatever you need to get back up. But again, posterior chain. If I can, you know, if my student athletes have a stronger posterior chain than my competitor student athletes, if my erectors and glutes and hamstrings and calves are stronger than my competitors, well, I think we're at a little bit of a competitive advantage there. We'll be faster, more durable, we're not going to get hurt, all right, typically. I think, you know, posterior chain, hey man, it's hard to be too strong out there. Overhead squat, shoulder stability, mobility, all those things, but again, we're doing 3 sets of 10 down to 3 sets of 8. We're just nailing overhead squats with a band for 4 weeks and then a bar for 4 weeks. Wonderful. Develop. Now, you're not going to express strength on an overhead squat. Whew, you can develop it. And then here's where we would get in. This would eventually be cleans, but for right now, this is RDL. RDL shrug. 3 sets of 10, 4 sets of 10, 8, 6s, you know, RDL, 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 RDL. I'm going to be honest with you, if most people would replace cleans in their programs with RDLs, the program would probably be better. Because you develop the Camry as opposed to the lawnmower. Build that time under tension, the eccentric, all those things as opposed to that. Again, that's clean is great. Like, it's great. Shane, you're just expressing stuff. So we would RDL all day long. Then we would do our benches, sets of 12s, down to sets. This is Olympic sports again, so like bench press wasn't a giant thing for us, baseball, softball, you know, we had to do it, but you know, it wasn't like football. If this was, you know, football or something else, we'd throw another set in there. Hyper hold row, so they get in our reverse hyper machines. Boom, they're holding themselves straight out. While they hold themselves straight out, they're doing dumbbell rows again, 12s, 10s, 8s, back, 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 back. Muscle, 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 muscle. All the volleyball, tennis, softball, baseball, swimming, all those sports that are so forward. Hey, if you don't have a strong back to slow that down and work in the brakes of the car, you're in trouble. So we were going to go overboard with the back training. We just didn't have a lot of injuries. I'll be honest with you. Shoulder, I can think of one UCL in 20 years, and I've always worked with baseball. You know, shoulder stuff for swimmers, I mean, it was around, but I don't remember any surgeries or anything. Volleyball, same thing. I mean, I honestly can't remember one. Tennis. Worked volleyball my entire career. So, and then we would do medicine ball rotational slams, sled push, just like your farmers. Not going to express strength on a sled push, but damn, are you going to develop it? It's great. Like, boom, you lock yourself in there, the legs are working. You know, force has to transfer through the arms, through the core, to the legs. It's total body exercise. It's like a walking overhead squat. It's beautiful. develop strength with the sled push. We did it, and it's like, man, it's too much stuff. We were in the weight room watching, I was like, nah, we're just gonna crank up like 182 radio and go. Go! And then we do some ab stuff here, but again, it's got bench, so it feels like an upper body flavor. But again, rowing, pulling, overhead squat, there's a ton of back stuff, there's push stuff, there's leg stuff. You wouldn't say this is a heavy leg workout because that's coming tomorrow or the next day, but like we aren't shy with the volume. Building. Not expressing yet. It's not time to express it. Again, if a freshman comes in, this is basically September and October. They got 4 years to get strong. You don't have to get them strong by December when they go home for Christmas break. That was one of the things that, hey, they get on campus and we got to get them as strong as we can in 12 weeks. Why? Don't think that you just have this semester with the athletes. You got 4 years with the athletes. That takes a lot of pressure off of your program. We can take our time, we can be slow, we can develop. We don't have to get into singles, by the middle of October. The program breathe, let them develop, take some time. Day 3. So we always finished, day 3 off season would be our heavy, squat, back squat day, quote unquote lower body day. But because then they could be sore for the weekend. Hey, Saturday you're off, Sunday you're off. Let yourself be a little bit sore. So Turkish get up. I see posts and this and that. I could never, I've never programmed a Turkish get up for any of my athletes. Well, that's fine. It's probably a little too hard for you. You don't want to do it yourself, so you're not going to give it to your athletes. Turkish get up. There's all kinds of stuff happening there. Developing. Are you going to express? I'm going to take an 80 and see if I can do it. No, you're not going to be an idiot and express strength with the Turkish get up, but that's all you want to do because you're a strength coach and you want to express strength. You don't want to develop strength. You're not a development coach. I'm a development coach. So, hey, I love Turkish get up. There's all kinds of sideline drawing, basically what you would consider your Copenhagen's. Snatch, okay, we jerked on day 1, cleaned on day 2, essentially, eventually. Yeah, we did that 8 weeks of RDLs. The 9th week we would start doing cleans. Snatches, we did dumbbell snatches right away. Again, I wouldn't have done them anymore. I love dumbbell snatch. Dumbbell one arm snatch is a great exercise for expressing strength. I don't know how much you develop strength, but it's a beauty for expressing strength. So I would be in my program somewhere, wouldn't be in here anymore. This might be, if we want to just express and do some power right away, this might be dumbbell jumps or a trap bar jump. This is a little bit quicker, not take so much time. We still felt like we needed it. But again, week 9 we would start doing snatches, clean grip snatch, and they'd be good. Freshman field hockey players have never lifted weights before, fencers at Temple, you name it, rowers, didn't matter. We coached them hard and they could do it great. But it really was just a stroke my ego. It wasn't for the benefit of the student athlete. Hindsight leads me to be able to say that. When I was in the thick of it, it's like, we're all gonna clean. All right, and here it is. Squat, back squat. 3 sets of 12, 3 sets of 15, 3 sets of 17, 3 sets of 20. So and we had this all the time, we'd have, female athletes come in. And that first day, we'd do like a 3 to 5 rep, and let's see where we're at. And we'd put their max at like 95, 100 pounds. Don't sweat, I'll send you all the stuff, don't worry about it. Their max would be like 100 pounds. So this first 4-week cycle here, we generally go like 55, 60, 65 or 70 pounds, depending on how they look. Ripple effect. 55 for 20. Whatever that is, 1,100 pounds, I don't know. That's one set. 60 for 20, 1,200 pounds. 70 for 20, 1,400 pounds. So say 11, 3, you know, it's going to be about 3,500, 4,000 total pounds of volume. Say it's 3,500. You're throwing 3,500 pounds off the bridge. That ripple, I mean, that is going to disrupt the system in ways that you can't imagine. Cardiovascular system, 20 rep squat. The endocrine system, like it's spewing out hormones to try and counteract this. Skeletal, obviously muscular. The ripple effect is enormous, but you go ahead and do your 155 for a single. I just did 3,500 pounds, safer, with better technique, better development, 3,500 pound, 150. How many singles at 155? How many max effort singles are you going to have to do to get to my 3,500 pounds? 25? Oh, see how that works. Go do 25 max effort singles. Let's see what that looks like. Technique is garbage. I mean, you won't be able to do them for the first minute, for sure. But again, you're going to tell me that, well, that's what works those big muscles. You know, this chart. That's what works the fast twitch. Nah, this high rep training will get into those muscles all the time. No, you can only get there by 1 to 5. No, you can't. It's fatigue. You know, those big muscles only come into play when you need them. Well, if you think the only way you need them is clean, like if everything else is starting to fail and buzzers are going off and alarms and blinking lights, boom, those big ones are going to come into play. And it's going to be safer. And the technique is going to be better. More systems of the body are going to be called into use. Folks, that's, I mean, again, not to be a jerk, but like across multiple universities and a wider, if I was up here and say, hey, I had great success at Ohio State, oh shit, man, so does everybody else. I'm talking, you know, St. Louis and Butler and Temple and all these other schools, multiple sports, volleyball, soccer, baseball, it doesn't matter, basketball. That high volume squatting, that got us muscle. Once we had that muscle, then we could start doing the singles and the triples and that kind of stuff that expressed it. But we built strength, developed, you know, muscle across thousands of athletes in multiple sports. And the sports that I was most successful with, wherever I went, soccer and volleyball. You know, soccer endurance training. This is what soccer did. I always get a kick. Well, the soccer team at my school doesn't like to work out, so we just do like rehab program with them. We're gonna kill you. And we did. Every time. Across multiple universities. Because we lifted. We lifted. Not like, well, we're gonna do, you know, whatever. Like we train soccer like football. I got a drawer full of championship rings from different schools that said that was probably not a bad idea. Volleyball, same thing. Volleyball's fast twitch. You know, they don't need high reps. Okay, but when you train them and you see like the 6'1", 120-pound middle hitter, it's not going to be able to make it through the season because she's just too damn skinny. Like, yeah, they need some muscle. There needs to be a development phase somewhere. But great, so we just did 3,500 pounds of squatting. Cool. Now it's time for lunges. 2 sets of 12 each leg, 3 sets of 10 each leg, 3 sets of 8 each leg. Then we do 4 weeks of that. Then we go to 4 weeks of step-ups, 12s and 10s each leg. Volume, holding weight over our head. Overhead step-up, overhead lunge. Then we're going to go do some reverse hypers. Because we ain't done enough posterior chain yet. 20 up to 20s. Nuts. It's wild. It's crazy. And I'm just here to tell you it works. You go ahead and do your singles and doubles. Do your minimum effective dose. We'll do our maximum rational dose. And again, we're just going to kill you on the field. We're going to be saying pull-ups, back, calves, abs, all kind of stuff. So again, that is a beefy lower body workout. That's all of an hour and 10 minutes. So in the high school setting, that can be a little tough. My guys in the high school setting, they pretty much have 30 minutes, but they're 5 days a week. So it can be done. You can put volume in there. And like I said, I'm just here to tell you, it's got to happen at some point. At some point you have to develop, not just express. And that's how we did it. And that's all she wrote. Any questions on those kind of things?